So the end of June, beginning of July, midsummer, sun is shining, not always like that. Perfect weather for roses. Roses like summer. The roses are really coming into flower now. Let's start with the smallest ones. These are the Patio Roses. Very small, they're very good for tubs and baskets, or you can plant them in borders. They produce masses of small flowers. So if you haven't got much space and you want a rose, Patio Roses are great. The only thing about Patio Roses is they don't tend to have much scent. These are the flower carpet roses. They're, I think, now the best-selling roses in the UK because they're so easy to look after. They're low-growing, ground cover, spreading roses. They flower on and off all summer. They produce masses of flowers, and there are lots of different colours. The two I've got here are the red one, which is called Flower Carpet Red Velvet, and this is Flower Carpet White. If they get a bit straggly, you just prune them back. It doesn't really matter when. You'll see if you look at the ends of the branches here, we have an absolute mass of little flowers coming. Again, like the Patio Roses, these are not scented, but otherwise they're absolutely fantastic plants and really easy. At the other end of the scale, we've got these big climbing roses here. This one here is a peachy one called Alibaba. Usually grown up a fence or a wall or even up trees, 6 to 10 feet or so, and the ramblers will go really high up trees, 20, 30, 40 feet if need be. This single one here is called American Pillar, very popular, bicolour, white centre and pink outside. The classic roses that everybody knows from their childhood are the bush roses, or the Floribundas and hybrid teas. The Floribunda roses tend to have flowers in clusters, and the hybrid teas tend to have single individual flowers. Both these are Floribundas apparently. The distinctions between the two are being blurred somewhat by breeders now, so we just really call these bush roses. And these are the classic roses that are used for cutting and bringing inside. We have the David Austin roses. These are called English shrub roses with these massive double flowers, and best thing about them is the scent. All of them have a really sweet scent. They come in lots of different colours. Got Graham Thomas here, Boscobel, which is a pinky one, Lady of Shalott, which is a sort of orangey peachy combination, and lastly here Thomas of Becket, which is a rather rich pinky purple colour. All of these have beautiful scent. This one, the last one, is a standard rose. This is actually a half standard on a low stem. If you want a sort of more formal effect in the garden, then these are trained and grafted on the top of a stem. Don't let the heads get too big. You need to keep pruning them back. If the heads get too big, you tend to get problems. They can get blown over by the wind. And they'll need a stout stake, especially in a windy site, to keep them looking good. Now, what the most common questions that we get asked of roses, firstly, when to prune them. It used to be that you could buy books and books and books with all sorts of complicated ways of pruning roses, but actually they've done experiments more recently and really pruned roses pretty much randomly, and it doesn't seem to make a great deal of difference. The thing to do is tidy up your roses as the flowers go over in late summer, and then give them a good proper prune in the spring, probably March, April time, because they'll set the flower buds on new wood when they start growing in the spring. If you live in a very cold garden, it's probably best not to prune them until March and April. But for most of us who live fairly near the coast, any time in the winter, autumn or winter, or early spring is fine. Roses are greedy plants. They like lots and lots of fertilizer to get them going, particularly if you're going to plant them at this time of year in the summer. Give them a really good feed. And lastly, they are a bit of a martyr to things like black spot and mildew, so you may find that you'll need to spray them with a fungicide of some kind in order to keep them clean. But most of the newer roses that are coming along now and becoming more popular are the ones that are the least disease prone. We at Glendoick have tried to eradicate the ones that are worst for getting mildew and black spot. So you should find that the selection that we have at Glendoick is probably the best one and the most disease resistant. Either way, roses still a fantastically popular garden plant for midsummer colour. You can't really beat them, and we've got a great selection in stock right now.